All right, this is a live recording now. Second part of the workshop. I'm going to reintroduce it because it stopped all of a sudden. And we're going to do some music from the sheet music. And I had previously introduced the first tune, Sheen Yvonne, which is a Gallic song. And the words are rather romantic. It's flower of the young ladies, Sheen Yvonne, which means fair Jean or Jane or Janet or any other Jane, Jean, Jeannie type of name. So it's flower of the young ladies, star of the girls, faithful and young, the theme of my secret poetry, the love of my heart, the young maiden. So quite romantic lyrics, and that's just the chorus. So
the verses really get into it. Huh?
Yeah, right. Okay, so, and then Troy came to tell us that we needed to go for a picture, and something weird happened with the previous recording. So we're just gonna take it from here, and let's hope it's all good now. Here is the melody of Sheen Yvonne. Let's try it. So that's a nice melody. It would have been also a good one taught by ear.
Oh, this would have been one you...
Yeah, it would have been one of the ear tunes if people had really wanted another one.
For some reason, whenever we do an air last, it sounds like an easy thing to do, but it's always doesn't fit with my brain. You know? It's a little more open-ended, I think. You know, so
Yeah.
it doesn't have the firm melody.
All right, let me play you the next one. We learned E, V, A, da.
Okay, now I was going to ask you how E,
E, V, A, da.
E, V,
And the DA is kind of a hard A, da.
Ta.
Yeah, it's more like ta than da.
Okay.
Right.
E,
Iviata.
Da.
Okay, toast to the moosies, because this is Scottish, right? So it's not, it is a mouse, right? But it's moosies. And that takes me back to one of my favorite jokes, which is, okay, Scottish band was visiting in the U.S. and they're up in the in Vermont in the back roads, and this huge creature with a great big rack of antlers comes crashing out of the underbrush and crosses right in front of the car, and the Scottish musicians say, "What was that?" And the host says, "Well, that was a moose." And the Scots say, "If that was a moose, I'd hate to see the size of your cat." Right. So, a toast to the moosies is
Delayed reaction.
Delayed reaction, yes. Okay, toast to the moosies is by a friend of mine, Keith Smith. He's a great fiddler who loves to play Scottish dance music. He's also a talented piper, so this tune is both pipeable and very fiddly.
Have you done the Strasbourg before?
Oh, that's when we learned it.
We learned that one by ear. Iviata.
That's why I wanted to learn how to
Right.
pronounce the title.
Right. Any word in Gaelic that has an H in it, it's not pronounced the way you think. That's basic. If I had to give one rule of Gaelic
Oh, okay.
pronunciation. However, it's not random. It's not like English where, it's pronounced this way in these certain, but then sometimes it's pronounced that. No. The letters in Gaelic and the letter combinations are pronounced the same way consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So the spelling rules are very consistent. They're just not what you're used to for English. So BH is always pronounced V.
Yeah, okay.
Right. It's not B and it's, or anything like that. BH means the. Okay. So back to toast to the moosies. but most of them are decorative. All right, let's go ahead and move on with Fiddler Play the Light. This is a well-known dance tune. I actually was surprised when I looked it up and we hadn't had it in Fiddle Club before. I was like, why not? So, yeah, this is played for dancing all the time. What is it? G-sharps, and none of them serves any purpose other than to be a leading tone into the A.
Yeah, okay.
So any piper could play this with a G natural, and it would work. Yeah, it wouldn't be a big impact. We do this actually all the time. Sometimes I will put in pipe tunes where the chords are very much saying E, E major. I will put a G sharp in the pipe tune. Some of our big pipe marches, 4-part pipe marches, have been with the G sharps in them. Obviously the pipe sources they came from do not have G sharps, but if you did play G naturals in this piece, it would not kill it at all.
Did you repeat the B part?
No, it had an internal repeat, except for the ending. I don't think I played it twice.
Okay, I'm just curious.
All right, let's play it together. Did you repeat the B part? I'm like, what if I did? Maybe I did.
I didn't.
So I'm not going to swear by anything for that. Maybe I repeated the B part. Maybe I repeated the first line of the B part. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Anyway, shall we play this tune one more time?
Okay.
Okay. non-pipeable notes as pipeable ones.
Oh, didn't even notice.
Yeah, see, I told you you wouldn't notice. Right. There is another non-pipeable note in the second half of the B part. Goes to an F sharp.
Yeah, yeah.
So on pipes you just go a G, or you could play
Oh, yeah. just
all
the other
A's.
A's.
Oh,
So there are a number of options. That is true. That on pipes, if you're willing to fudge a few notes and make a few substitutions, it opens up a much wider world of tunes that you can play on pipes. And some pipe versions of tunes that are sort of official pipe tunes do exactly that.
Oh.
There's a version of 100 Pipers,
Uh-huh.
which oddly enough, given its name, is not natively a pipeable tune.
Oh.
They play the A part in the key of D, and they play the B part in the key of A.
Yeah,
And
I played with Bob Mitchell sometimes.
And it's a very,
It's very weird.
it's a very odd feeling for those of us who are used to this tune and playing it all in one key. But that's how pipers hear it, and there's a couple others like that. That's not the only one. I run into a number like that. All right, let's move on to the next tune. This is another one where once I considered it, I was like, how have we not had this in Fiddle Club before? This is the Red Coat. It's from the Sky collection, really well known collection from the late 1800s, and this is one of the books of Scottish fiddle music that came over from Scotland with settlers to Cape Breton. If they brought a tune book, Sky collection was one of the ones that, because it was the thing that was published around that time.
It was the hot new tune book.
Yeah, it was the hot tune book of the time. So let me play it for you, and here's the curious thing. Not very many pipe tunes are focused around the key of G. This one is. It's basically a tune in the key of G that ends in A minor.
Oh.
And to have that as being a pipeable tune is really unusual.
It's really familiar.
A part sounds
Yeah,
like
I
a
play it
line.
all the time. I play it for
Line Hill.
dancing.
Oh.
That's what I'm hearing, a little bit of that flavor.
Of which?
Lime Hill in the first part.
Oh, It does predate Lime Hill by many decades. So maybe Lime Hill has a little bit of Red Coat flavor.
Oh,
Anyway, I'm not gonna go down that road anymore. Let's play the Red Coat. actually rearrange the snaps a little bit, so I'm gonna
Oh,
make a note. Okay. Alewife and her barrel, or Alewife and her barrels, is a tune that has a long history. They're both Strathspey and real-time versions of this. Okay, let me play it for you. In the workshop I did yesterday, one of them, a little bit about how these Cape Breton tunes can have both a sharp and natural in the same tune, and it's because of the old style of tuning that was used in Cape Breton, which was based on the natural scale, which you can look up under temperaments. So we tend to gravitate towards equal temperament, because it's sort of like an international standard of what a pitch should be. But back in the old days in the Cape Breton tradition, they did not use equal temperament. They had, from the pipes and from sort of older Highland Scottish style, something that was a little closer to natural temperament, which gives you perfect octaves, perfect fifths, and everything else is a little squirrely, and especially the third note of the scale, the C, which is neither sharp nor natural, and the G, which is, again, a little bit natural and a little bit sharp, a little bit sharper than natural. So when you hear the pipes play that, it's a slightly sharp of G natural, G, and it's based on this natural harmonics. So that's a very limited explanation of a very complicated subject, which you can go deep into the weeds. But it means that both C sharps and Gs, or Cs and Gs, or Cs and G sharps, in Cape Breton music, they fall in the crack. They're not quite sharp, they're not quite natural, they're in between. Some people call it supernatural. And although that's just for fun, it's not an official musical term, but it means that how you hear it is really a matter of interpretation. Is it a G sharp? Maybe. Is it a G natural? Sure, could be. So I'm just going to offer the explanation that the G sharps in this tune are actually no different than the G naturals. In a sort of old style Cape Breton mode of playing, they would be the same pitch. No difference. So let's try playing it, and if you want to play in the cracks between the G and G natural, you can go ahead and do that. It doesn't come naturally to everybody. Right.
All these years trying to play in tune,
And I'm going to explain very carefully. This is not out of tune. It's in tune via a different system of what being in tune is. So just as we have people who can and cannot play in tune in the modern day with our equal temperament scales, we have people who could play in tune and out of tune with respect to this natural scale. So there were really skilled players who, to our modern ear, sound odd, what are they doing? Who are nonetheless very much in tune with their natural scale. There were also not so talented players who could play out of tune in any system. We're not going to allow that. Okay, let's play Alewife in her barrel, or it could be more than one barrel. In some names, she has more than one barrel. Yep. so we did learn Sweet Willie. So we're going to move right along to Farmer's Joy. So my last two tunes are actually a contrast because I have a modern tune Adam Broom wrote recently, a perfectly pipeable jig without intending to write for pipes. And there's only one thing that would need to be done to make it completely pipeable. In the B part, it goes down to a low E note. You simply play a high E note there.
Oh.
And other than that, you're good all the way through. So here's how it goes. Too. I've used it in Scottish country dances fairly often.
Yeah, it's just such a happy tune.
Yeah. Well, it is called Farmer's Joy.
Yeah, it's very true.
It's not like the gloomy farmer or anything.
That's right.
Yes. But I don't know of a specific story behind it. I bet there is one. But I don't know what the story of the title is. Okay.
Do you know Adam Broom?
I haven't met him. Okay, last tune. And I deliberately put these right next to each other because we have a very recently composed tune, and this Highland tune was published for the first time around the year 1700. And it's one of the first published examples of a strathspey.
Oh.
Now, strathspeys in those days were do-it-yourself with the dots and the snaps. You had to know that it was a strathspey style tune and therefore had dots and snaps in it. And you took the workshop yesterday that I gave on how to figure out the dots and snaps in strathspey. So go for it. No, I'm kidding. I won't put you on the spot like that. But
I wasn't paying attention anyway.
but one thing that I explained in this particular workshop is that there are some rules of thumb for how to go about snapping and dotting strathspeys in a sensible manner that fits with the style, that sounds like your, native speaker of strathspey, so to speak. And so this tune is not written with dots, but it would be played with them. So it would sound something like this. Let's go for it.
So you're playing C natural, don't you?
Yes. Oh, I meant to play the sharps. I'm so sorry. I'm playing it as if it's in A minor.
Yeah.
Okay, let me play the example again. Sorry. There is another version that was published with C naturals.
Well, it sounded like.
It sounded great that way too, right?
Yeah, it sounded familiar. Yeah, and I didn't
But
even notice
with
it.
the C sharps, it also sounds really great.
Uh-huh.
In fact, it sounds pretty natively, it definitely could have been played that way. So I sit on the fence
Okay.
as to which, maybe it existed in both. Maybe it was that C supernatural
Oh.
that nobody could decide whether it was sharp or natural. In fact, that's a pretty good explanation. I think I'm going to adopt it. So, in any case, let's play it now with C sharps this
Okay.
time. And I am throwing in pickup notes where I feel like, why not? The spelling, it's spelled Hilland, Hilland. I just love how they spell things so strangely in the 1700s.
It's kind of the way it's pronounced with the accent, though.
Yeah,
Heathen capital.
It's a Heathen tune. Right, Highland tune. And like many strathspeys of its day, it could be played as a strathspey and as a reel. So why don't we just do that once, strathspey and then reel version of the same tune. So strathspey first. So it works pretty great either way,
Yeah.
both as a Highland strathspey and as a Highland reel. So that is our set of music, and hopefully this recording worked out and we can get it posted online so that people can have a chance at this music before long. And thank you for coming to the live workshop. I really appreciate having actual people to teach to, because otherwise I'd feel like it was the early days of the pandemic again. So for those of you who are watching this on video, we're coming to you from the Upper Potomac Music Weekend, Cape Breton weekend of pipes and fiddle. It's been a fun weekend of workshops with some amazing teachers, and it's been a real pleasure being here and enjoying the cross-fertilization of music. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the tunes. And for Fiddle Club, bye!